Good morning. I am still Mac, and it's time for another adventure. This one is going to take us through New Mexico, through western Texas, to the site of the atomic bomb blast at Trinity, and then up into some Native American ruins up at Chaco Canyon. Along the way, we're going to visit national parks, mountains, Santa Fe again, you name it. This time, too, I have a date. So it turns out that Jemma here is very sick. So she's going to be my my little bio bomb that we're going to take across the border into New Mexico.
Yay.
Right? So we're heading out through the Texas Hill Country into the chaparral. All these trees are dry because we've been having a terrible drought. And for anyone who can recognize that this is not my normal car, turns out that somebody T-boned the Tesla a couple months ago and it's been in the shop ever since. So now I'm driving this lovely Audi Q5, which thus far has been a wonderful van, but it also seems like trying to connect to the media player with your phone requires all sorts of nonsense. So you know, if you're thinking about buying this or renting this, do consider that it's going to be a little bit of a nightmare when it comes to playing music. We're on our way through historic Fredericksburg, where we've found a couple nice little corners full of cute old German shops, and then an enormous drag full of chain stores. So, still, nice little town. Lots of vineyards around here. Oh, look, it's my barbecue place. No matter how dry or desolate things get, don't forget to smile. Smile.
Oh god, I just saw myself like terrible angle.
This is what you get for being sick on vacation.
Terrible because I was like, my head tilted like up. Oh no, I didn't know.
So now we are on Highway 10 headed west for 442 miles. This is going to be a long drive. Do you hear the highway singing? It's singing to me. It sounds like loud noise. And welcome to the scenic little town of Sonora, where they play ambient music in the downtown. And it was 3 hours into the trip that we finally got CarPlay working with this thing. So I retract everything that I said before about the Audi interface. It turns out all you need is a cable. So just outside of Sonora, we ran into some construction that shut down one of the highway ramps. So now we get to find out precisely what 80 miles an hour on a backcountry road feels like. It's pretty great. So now the trees are getting smaller, the land is getting flatter. We're definitely getting into some kind of, I don't want to say wasteland, but it's a little bit more chaparral-y than the chaparral itself. Kind of wondering if we're going to start seeing some sand or some desert or something on the way here. But look at that horizon. Look at how flat that is. We are next to this truck full of modern art. This is very interesting, interesting things to be carrying around here. Wow, it just gets grander and grander. Might not be obvious from the camera, but this is really beautiful. I'm starting to feel a lot like Zion, but with a different color scheme. The Pyramid of El Dorado. I don't actually know what that is, but it's really cool all the way over there on the horizon. So apparently this is called Tunis Peak, formerly known as Squatty Peak, which is a little bit less child appropriate, but still a very cool looking landmark. I like the Pyramids of El Dorado. I think that's better. So it's definitely more deserty now, but over there you can start to see hints of mountain out in the haze. We have about 400 even miles left to go to hit Alamogordo. Off to the north, those are the Apache Mountains. We're going to be heading into them pretty soon. If I remember correctly, that was actually where the Apache Native Americans had a lot of their holdouts before they were sort of driven to near extinction by the Comanche. Don't quote me on that, I'm not an expert. That's just kind of what I remember off the top of my head. You know, not only do we get to see gigantic mountains rising out of the ground, we get to see lifted trucks rising out of the nowhere with tons of tires. It's pretty great. Big offs. Look at that lift. Man. Next up in our list of mountain ranges, according to Jemma, is the Sierra Blanca. Especially that one huge tall boy over there behind the truck. We have entered the Rio Grande Valley. It's a lot flatter here. If you look, those mountains looming on the horizon are in the Chihuahuan Desert in Mexico. We're very close to the border, right over there. And there is security all over the place. And there's the river. You can see it shining off in the distance. Okay, now things are looking quite deserty. All right, well, time to say goodbye to the border. El Paso is about 15 miles that way, but we're getting on this wonderful exit, heading north toward New Mexico. This is the New Mexico border. Oh boys, I'm back. Now that's a sunset. All right, here we are at the Desert Air Hotel. Cute, pretty little place. Nice moon. After what has been over 10 hours of driving, I'm ready to eat something and die.
And die.
And die. Good evening. It is almost 9 p.m. We came into Alamogordo at about 6:45 local time, so about 7:45 Texas time. And I was exhausted. I've been driving almost nonstop for 5 hours at the time. It was a lot. So we went to this restaurant called Lacombe, which it turns out represents a winery that's out a little ways from here. And they make all their own wines, and they had a bunch of wines, and they had a bunch of good food. They had a whole charcuterie plate. Honestly, it was shocking. We really did expect this just to be, you know, the local yokel restaurant that, you know, was just the best thing that was in town, but it was really good. Like, it could go toe-to-toe with most of the restaurants in Austin at probably half the price. So if you're ever in Alamogordo, I highly recommend Lacombe. It was a wonderful experience. Jemma is still feeling rather sick, so she's going to get an early bedtime tonight, and then tomorrow morning we're going to get up bright and early. We're going to head out to White Sands. So until then, good night.